Hello and welcome to the latest Sun Racing preview in association with Betway. I'm Tom Bull and this week I'm delighted to be joined by Callum Jamieson of Sun Racing.
Morning,
good to see you, Callum.
You all right?
Yeah, how are you?
Good.
Great stuff. First up, we're going to talk about Kempton on Saturday. Yes, it's the Dovecote Hurdle first up, and buzz heads the market. The buzzword is buzz for Nicky Henderson after both wins over hurdles. Last time out at Newcastle, he's taking on a whole clutch of unexposed horses, including West Cork, Son of Camas, Highway 102, and a few others. Callum, I'm going to come to you first ahead of myself. As opposed to myself. Who are you keen on in this?
I think it is about the Henderson pairing here. He's obviously got Buzz and Son of Camas, like you said. Whether they'll both run, I'm not sure. I think he was leaning towards running Son of Camas and seeing how the race was before Buzz went there. My preference is for Son of Camas. That run at Newbury where he beat Harry Fry's King Roland was really hot novice form, I think. He did that well. He's a big old horse. I think there's a lot more to come from him. I know he's beating the Grade 1 Tolworth last time out behind the Tizard horse, which on Fiddler on the Roof, I think it was.
That's right, yeah.
I still think that's decent form in this context. I'm pretty sure he didn't actually run his race properly. There's really sticky, tacky ground there. I think Kempton always dries out quite well, doesn't it? So you don't normally get too bad ground there. I'd lean towards him. I think he's a bit of a better price than Buzz as well, which obviously always helps.
I'm going to stick with Gary Claremont for John Joe O'Neill. This horse has had a few runs at Ludlow this season, won 2 of them, last time beating a horse called Langer Dan, who we spoke to Dan Skelton about yesterday. He's very keen on that horse, but he beat him quite easily last time, and I think there's going to be more to come. He was very visually impressive with the way he quickened last time, and I think he could well have more in the tank. He's only got a couple of pounds to find with Buzz here, who certainly isn't light years ahead of his opposition, that's for sure. West Cork, another one to mention, was Dan Skelton, who was also keen on him yesterday. He's actually joint top rated along with Buzz. He's progressing fast. He was quite impressive last time.
Yeah, I'm just a bit squiffy on that form of when he beat Mr. Coffee at Huntington last time. That Henderson's horse there bolted the whole 2 miles at Huntington, basically, and he didn't have to do much to win. I think he's more of a long-term project, West Cork. He's within his right to go for a race like this, but it just wouldn't be for me quite yet.
Great. Well, I'm going to go with Gary Claremont, and you're going to go with Son of Camas.
I am.
Excellent. Moving on now to the Betway Handicap Chase, a very competitive race here at Kempton, always a cracker. A few strong contenders in here in the lineup. Eric LaRouge trying to improve his Kempton record, which is a very strong 3 out of 3 at the track. Adrian Dupont, who's also won the course before. Justice Sting, top weights, Black Courton, Talk is Cheap. Also Creve Hill, Kill the Sart. There's a lot of big names in here, Callum. Who is kind of taking your eye the most at this stage?
I've got a pair of Paul Nicholls horses that are top of my shortlist, I think, obviously depending on declarations come the end of the day. One is currently the favourite, Adrian Dupont, and the other one is 25 to 1 Sam to Gal. So we're at both ends of the market. Adrian Dupont, the case is quite obvious, isn't it? I think you fancy him too. He hasn't quite fired yet this season at all, but he was third in this last year. I think he's £6 lower. This time round, there's obvious claims on that alone. The run before that, he was a course and distance winner, and it's only £1 high now. So the case is obvious. To put it simply, he just goes really well at Kempton. He's weighted to beat Justice Sting. He's also fairly short in this market. Gets a bit of weight there, and I mean, he's just, from what he's shown so far this campaign, it's a bit of a leap of faith, but he's trained by Paul Nicholls, isn't he? When he targets a race with his stay and chases like this, they tend to be A1, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. I think he's got a really big chance. The way he was held up last year's race, he was given far too much to do, came way too late, and he's still only beaten 3 lengths at the line in third. I think given a better ride this time, he's definitely weighted to win, as you say. Dropped £6 since that race last year.
It's a very generous handicapper, isn't it?
Very generous, yeah, particularly, given that they don't usually drop Nicholls' horses that much.
Well, once behind riders on the Storm, which isn't bad for him, is it, as we've seen?
No, absolutely, and hopefully Cobden can give him a nice waiting ride from the rear. He does like Kempton, as we've seen before, so hopefully he can produce a big run. Yeah, I think Justice Sting is a big danger, but as you say, he is weighted to beat him once again. He's improved a bit this season. Had a nice little win at Ascot last time. Eric LaRouge shouldn't be discounted just because he's got a very good Kempton record. This is a little bit step up in trip from last time. Got a couple of furlongs, but he wasn't stopping last time out. So up £7. That's the only issue for me. Whether or not that's going to make too much of a difference. Isn't he? Yeah, he's still unexposed. Definitely has a big chance. Probably under Lizzie Kelly, I'd imagine. Anything else particularly in that race?
Well, like I mentioned, I'm hoping that Sam Tagal is declared 2. He was 4th here at the King George meeting. He's 11 now. There's not many secrets about him, but he's actually quite lightly raced through. I think he's only run 4 or 5 times in the last 2 or 3 years. he doesn't win very often, but he's quite consistent. He's been second and third in some better races over the last few seasons, and at big odds, I think he's worth an each way swing if he's declared on Friday.
Excellent. So we're both going to go with Adrien Dupont in this race and a little bit on Semetigal each way.
Indeed.
Great. Over to Newcastle now, where the Ida Chase, one of the few races over 4 miles in the calendar. It's going to be a proper old slog on the Toon. They've been Looney Tunes in the past putting this race on, and they might well be again if the rain comes, but hopefully it won't be too much of a slog. It's a very interesting race this year with a very open market. Calypso Calange, Petite Power, very first time heading the betting, with the likes of Hugo and Taz close behind. Callum, it's going to take a big old stamina performance to win this race, as it always does. Who's top of your list?
The one I fancy is Fortified Bay for Jenny Candish, who looks a bit of a big price, to be honest. I think if he was trained by someone else, probably be half the price. But I'm not complaining about that, to be honest.
No,
It's 4 starts over fences. He's won 2 of those. The last time out was 3 miles over Newcastle in the mud. Wasn't stopping come the end of the line. I know this is another mile, which is obviously a huge step up in trip, a mile and more. But he's a stay and chaser, going places, fairly lightly tried over fences, and I just think he's on quite a good mark, to be honest. The hurdling form was okay, but he's clearly stepped up in a big way over fences.
I'm going to go with a horse called Alminar, who first time blinkers last time at Chepstow, which clearly made a massive difference to him because he stayed on very strongly. What was a bog that day, and is probably likely to be a bog once again. So this kind of race should be right up his street. He's got a big chance from the foot of the weights. I'm a big fan of Nigel Hawke as well as a trainer. Right. I think he's quite underrated. Hopefully he can continue his progression in this kind of test. One that we should mention is a horse called Hugo and Taz. Back from a break, won the Lincolnshire National on Boxing Day, where a wind operation clearly made a massive difference to him that day. Interesting, he's been kept off the track since then, and I can see him going close as well. But Almanar is my big selection.
I think it's definitely hard to ignore, isn't it, the claims of very first time for Dan Scow, and he's clearly another one on the up coming into this. He's not exposed, is he, yet at all?
Talking about very first time, we were lucky enough to go to Dan Skilton's earlier in the week, and this is what he had to say about very first time and a few of his other runners running this weekend. This weekend, very first time running in the Ida. Give him a big chance.
Yeah, got to. Yeah, got to. There's only one race he hasn't run all that well for us, and that was in the Lincolnshire National, which was really odd. He just never, almost like he didn't get out of bed that day. He headbutted 3 of the first 4, I think, and then
that was it, game over.
That was it, you know. But he got back on track the other day at Doncaster. He stays very well. The race looks like it's cut up a little bit, actually. And it'd be lovely to win one of those big staying handicaps. And Absolutely. He is the type of horse that you need. He's progressive. He likes the trip. He conserves his energy on the way round. He is the right type of horse for that.
Absolutely. And we mentioned Chittabello earlier. Obviously goes to the rearranged Kingwell Hurdle. Do you think this is Grade 2 is about his level? I mean, this is the kind of race he really should have a chance of winning.
Yeah, I mean, he could go there, or he could go to Fontwell on the Sunday. Yeah. He's still entered in the national spirit. He is obviously a Grade 2 horse. He's not a Grade 1 horse, unfortunately. I mean, me and his owner would talk regularly, and just we came close a lot of times, and we just wish we could land that Grade 1 with him. But it just shows how hard it is to do. He is a graded runner, and perhaps one day he will get his big race. But I think Grade 2s are perfectly within his reach. He's nearly won about 4 of them. And I'd just love to get his head back in front. He's been a phenomenally good horse for us. And he's such a pleasure to have about the place.
Yeah, very relaxed downstairs, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's happy with himself, and he likes his regime. Tolly, my head lad, rides him every day. And I think they give each other a good morning, really. So I'd love to see him go and do it again. It was a great day last year in the county.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's a phenomenal good day. And owners, all owners put a lot into it, and you can never begrudge any of them any of their success. But the horse deserved it, the owners deserved it, and they celebrated wisely.
Finally, a quick word on both Scorched Earth and West Cork, both of whom are running this weekend.
Yeah, I've got to talk to West Cork's owner, because I actually just put him in last minute, thinking, well, I wonder how he looks at the weights. And I think he's near enough top rated. So we'll have to take that a bit seriously. And he's a very progressive horse, in my opinion. Look, whether he's worth his rating we will find out. But he kind of beat a horse the other day that gave himself no chance of winning at Huntingdon when Nicky's horse went flying off in front. But he was good nonetheless. And Scorched Earth, he's just improving a bit, that horse. If we run in the Adonis, it's a big task. But he is improving.
Thanks very much for that, Dan. So the Ida Chase selections, I'm going to go with Almanar and Callum.
Fortified Bay for me, please.
Excellent stuff. Now on to Lingfield, where the Betway Winter Derby is the highlight of the day on the all-weather. This sees classy horses Bangkok and Dubai Warrior take each other on. Yes, there are other runners, but it very much looks a two-horse race here. Bangkok, the odds-on favourite for Andrew Balding. Fancy for the Derby last year. Couldn't quite hack it at the top level, but he returned with a very impressive performance in the Winter Derby trial and could have too much gas for these, in my opinion. But Callum, I know you're keen on the other one, Dubai Warrior.
I think you might jump the gun a little bit saying it's a two-horse race, to be honest.
I'm very much in the two-horse camp.
The fact Century Dream is in there too shows you how strong a renewal this is. Whether he's going to be declared or not, I don't know, but he did have a spin.
Fair enough.
On the all-weather in France last time. And I mean, it just shows you how improved all-weather racing actually is, and it's pretty important, isn't it, in the calendar these days. But anyway, you're in the Bangkok camp. I'm with Dubai Warrior, to be honest. Johnny G and Frankie Dettori, it's hard to oppose them. And I mean, he's a class act, and he's been bred for this. This has been his target for donkey's years, isn't it? Since they probably had him in the stable. This is his playground, and I just couldn't be taking odds on Bangkok, to be honest.
Well, that's absolutely fair.
I mean, even as I know he broke the track record, didn't he, last time in Bangkok, but I'm a bit sceptical of these one-off massive performances, especially on the all-weather on these tight turning tracks, and I'd just rather be with the proven form of Dubai, where I know he's been beaten a couple of times, but he probably wasn't A1 for those. Indeed,
he's 4 from 5 on the all-weather, and you can't grumble with that record. No, certainly can't be discounted. Obviously, a very impressive performance in the Quebec Stakes last time out, where he beat a horse called Courthouse, who was likely to line up in this race as well. So to sum up, I'm going to go with Bangkok for Andrew Balding, and Callum?
John Gosden's Dubai Warrior, please.
Lovely. Now onto the Betway Lucky 15, where all winnings will be going to the Injured Jockeys Fund. 4 selections from the panel this week. I am going to go with Almanar in the Ida, Adrian Dupont for both of us at Kempton. Callum, I know you fancy Son of Camas and the Dovecote.
Yes, please.
So I'll stick him in, and Dubai Warrior ahead of Bangkok, just because he's a bit of a bigger price. Always nice to stick them in. So that's our Lucky 15 for the week. Last but not least, we are moving on to the anti-post segment with the Paddy Power Stayers Hurdle, where Paisley Park is quite clearly the one to beat, the top stayer of this generation. However, we'll be looking for value to take him on, and I am going to go with Emitom after his very nice win in the Rendlesham at Haydock last time out. He stayed on very strongly there. Looks a horse to follow. Warren Greytrex, who knows the time of day, likes this horse a lot. He's obviously got a huge amount of ability when he puts it all in, and hopefully this he'll get a strong enough pace and he can come into it and collar Paisley Park in the shadows of the post. That's exactly what I'm hoping for anyway. Callum, what about you?
I think Paisley Park will just win this, won't he?
Fair enough.
I hope he does, to be fair. But I wouldn't put anyone off back in Emitom each way, like you just said. Somerville Boy probably comes into that category too. They're both just about double figures, aren't they? If Benny turns up, though, that'll be some race.
I really hope she does, but I can't see it myself.
But it's another one of Willie Mullins. I think 25 to 1 about Bacardi's at the moment could be a bit generous. He was 6th in this last year, but he didn't run his race at all. Steps up on that, he won't be far away from a place. He was 2nd to Honeysuckle not that long ago, which is strong form in this context.
Absolutely.
And, Willie Mullins, if he gets his horses going on the day, they'll be bang there.
Everyone needs to fear them. So your selection for the Paddy Power Stayers Hurdle, Bacardi's, mine is Emitom. And that's all from us this week. Hopefully we have given you some winners. Lots of top class racing this weekend at Lingfield, Newcastle and Kempton. We'll see you all very soon.